Hey, my old pal Shane Smith from Vice, who just did this show, has a new podcast. Shane talks to everybody about the biggest trending topics that hit your feed every week. It's called Shane Smith Has Questions, and it's on the Vice News YouTube channel and on audio too. Anywhere you listen to your podcast, I recommend it highly.
You know, as somebody who has a bit of a dog in the Hitler fight, right?
I was going to say.
You know, like the funny hat, you know, says something about it.
Club Random.
Like on a practical level.
Again, that's adorable that you think that.
You think he wants to stick around after that?
Club Random.
Anna, you back there?
I am. I'm hidden back here in the Richard
You really
Dreyfuss chair.
came to this place.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to give it up because
did.
I bet you've never done anything like this.
The last time I did something like this was probably when I was in studio with, was it Molly Hatchet, randomly?
Molly Hatchet. Who
Yeah.
was that again?
It's like a punk rock band.
When was this?
This is like years and years ago, 15 years ago, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
pretty
I
wild.
appreciate you coming to a place that seems antithetical to everything you stand for and believe in. But I bet you had your day when you were like a wild. Like-
No.
Not high school. There was no.
Not even a moment, no.
Really,
no.
not even a moment.
Not even a
You've
moment.
always been.
I'm as straight-laced as it is possible to be. So, you know,
Yeah.
that's my blessing, my curse.
Right.
You know,
You were-
that's the thing about being religious. Like, if we're right, then it works out great. And if we're wrong, boy, do we F up. Right? I mean, that's sort of the Pascal's wager of it, so.
Well, but come on, that's not even why you would really should want to be religious.
No, of course
It's
not.
not, but I mean, certainly people do that. I mean, I always say, 'cause I think I'm fair about religion. Yes, I'm anti-religious, of course, but I do admit it does some good. I mean, it's not a 100-0 proposition. Charities, Catholic charities, and one of the things it does is it does keep some people in line.
Yeah, that's what Voltaire said, so.
It makes other people fly planes into buildings. So we'll call that one a push. Right? Am I right?
I mean, I won't say that all religions are exactly equal in their effects.
No, but it does keep the idea that, and this is not so much in Judaism, because Judaism is the least about the afterlife
That's true.
and how much the devil is going to poke you in the ass with a pitchfork if you fuck up on earth, right?
Yes.
What is the review for our students? What is the Judaic version of the post-life? What's their post-life
There's a big
hack?
debate about it, just like everything else in Judaism. But there's not one kind of clear picture. I mean, the picture that I always got
Is
of
it heaven?
more or less, yes, but heaven can be construed as sort of reunification with God, more than sort of like you're hanging out just like you're a human being, but you're hanging out with all your friends up there.
But
And
of
hell
course-
is less of like you're burning an everlasting fire, and more like there's a cleansing process that your soul goes through because of all the sins that you've done, and that process has to continue in order for your soul to be cleansed so it can rejoin God, essentially.
But Judaism has a concept of hell, of Hades, of no.
Not really.
Right, and that's hugely different
Yeah,
than
Judaism's
the
different.
other two big ones.
For sure. No, hell is Los Angeles. I almost got robbed last night, by the way.
What?
Oh yeah. Hey, we were here for family and to be on this, and went out with some friends last night on 3rd Street for dinner, and it's not a bad area.
No.
At like 10:30 at night, we get out of the restaurant. I have security, obviously, so we start heading one way. My friends head the other, as a husband and wife. They go like 3 cars down. They get in their car. As soon as they get in their car, a white Hyundai pulls up, and 3 black gentlemen, I mentioned the race because they are still at large, jump out of the car. They immediately grab my friend, pull him out of his car, steal his wallet, steal his watch, pull his keys out of his pocket, his phone. They run around to his wife. They grab her, start trying to rip the jewelry off of her. She screams, and at this point, their time has elapsed. They jump back in the car, and they take off. And I remembered why I moved to Florida. So,
Well, it's not like that couldn't happen in Florida.
well, I mean, we'd shoot you.
If it, why, are you strapped?
In Florida, sure.
You are.
So is my wife. Everybody's strapped in Florida. Come on, man. I've been there.
Okay, well, what I take from this is don't eat on 3rd Street. There's some fine restaurants on 3rd Street. I mean, Berries. I love Berries. It's late night. It's a very strange restaurant because it's nice. Nobody's ever in it. If you want to, like, be sure to get a table at 9 o'clock. I'm just walking of the street. I recommend it highly. I think they must be laundering money or something. Jones is a old, isn't the little door on Third? These are all like places I will never go again.
Yeah, no, listen, I grew up here, man. I mean, I
Well-
spent my entire childhood here. I was here for, of the 36 years before I moved to Florida, I was here for 33 of them here. And then there came a point where we were out.
Well, I mean, you're not unique. Certainly, there's lots of people who have moved. The places people move are Florida, Nashville, and Austin.
Yep.
Right. Those are the three sort of like havens for people who have had wokeness up to here. And when I say wokeness, you know, I mean, it's a triggering word because some people think of it in the original meaning, which is, as I always say, noble, alert to injustice. Certainly with our despicable racial history, that was necessary to be super alert and vigilant. Then it migrated because words do. That's just the nature of language. You can't control it. Words just become something else. And it became a sort of catch-all for what I have called the aggressively anti-common sense agenda. I mean, that's where we share a belief. Then there's lots of stuff where we don't. And,
sure.
you know, we don't even have to talk about Trump. But, you know, it is like 10 days before an election, and we're about to elect like
As a moral obligation, yeah.
the worst person ever. Who's a dictator?
Whatever,
And
I
we'll
mean-
change America for the worse forever. But you know what? Between friends, little things like that can go. But we agree on the aggressively anti-common sense agenda. And, you know, common sense certainly is, you know, job one, make the citizens feel safe.
Well, that's the thing, right? I turned to my friend after he got robbed, and we were calling the cops and waiting 15 minutes for the cops to arrive. And I said to him, well, you know, at least you've done your part to alleviate systemic racism in the United States. And that's, you know, that's sort of the mentality. And he's been thinking about moving out of here for a while. And again, he and his family live here. It's bad governance is a thing that ought not be countenanced, regardless of your politics. I mean, people would like to live in a place where you can walk down the street at 10:30 at night and not be robbed by roving gangs. And that doesn't seem particularly controversial. But the fact that it is, I think, you know, again, we don't have to get into the Trump of it, but I think one of the reasons why people are less concerned about things that people like Trump say is because, like, okay, the issues that matter to me are things like, is my grocery bill twice what it was 3 years ago? Am I getting robbed on the street? And so the disconnect between the legacy media, which is very concerned about things like systemic racism, and the normal person who's like, I would just like to not get robbed today, that drives an enormous amount of distrust in legacy media. So when they start warning about, you know, Donald Trump saying X, Y, or Z, it's like, okay, well, he's saying that, and you know what? You know, like what I really care about is who's going to fix my life and make it better. And I think that really is a big divide right now.
Yeah, the piece I'm doing at the end of the show Friday, and I guess this will air after that, so I don't have to worry that